Good.
Marvelous. How many more clients did you pick up today?
So I closed another agency today.
This is what we're talking about this evening. I'm just going to let you ramble on this evening. This is kind of going to be a master class from Higgins. So,
it's just, what ended up sealing it today with them was, I said, let's sit back and think about it. This is a complete leg up for everybody involved. It's a leg up for me. It's a leg up for you as they're a web agency. And it's a leg up for your client. I'm like, everybody wins in this scenario.
Well, I'd like
to, there is no loser.
Dial it back, like rewind that to kind of like go through like how you actually. Oh, there we go. We got people wanting in.
Good.
Basically, how you your note taker is still trying to join. So, but basically, try to rewind and like kind of go from the start, like the alignable method, because literally nobody else is doing. Because I was like last week, we actually chatted about it, and I'd talked to my brother about like, hey, we should prospect on Alignable, because it's kind of like, I like to call it the poor man's LinkedIn, right? Because it's real businesses, not chiropractors and lawyers and dentists and coaches, that junk on LinkedIn, and you're actually promoting a business instead of your personal profile. So, it's a good place to go and prospect. And I'd started diving in, as you can see from my profile, and we connected and all this stuff. But now looking at yours, I think I got to retool, because I'd started thinking about that. Like, there is, these agencies definitely need what we got, because I have talked to social marketing agencies and, all these other people that like, oh yeah, I use HighLevel, and they just kind of give you a blank stare and go, what's that? And so that is, it's a huge opportunity, because they do like those SMMAs and the SEOs and the web design people are doing the bulk of the work. I mean, I hate making websites. I hate it because it's never done, and the client is always, picking it. Like, what about this? Can we move this period here? Can I put a couple more pixels on this side? So I would much rather do, and I'd come to the conclusion probably a little bit later than you have, that, just selling straight SaaS and being lazy is a much better way to go.
Hell yeah, it is. Hell yeah, it is. Well, and you don't have to get into a lot of the stuff. Like, there was a question in the group. Maybe it was Nathan. I can't remember. About Google reviews and Australian law. And of course, I'd never even looked at it. I was like, well, this must be tricky. So let me go look this up. And I was like, holy cow, boy, is that a bag of tricks? Because you can't
steroids or something.
Yeah, you can't advertise, like, if you're a medical practice of any kind, dentist, chiropractor, doesn't matter, anything that's classified as medical, the only reviews or testimonials that you can have displayed on your website have to speak only to process. So, like, ease of scheduling, the waiting room was nice, things like that. Nothing related to the actual service. If it even mentions the service, you can get fined.
And see, that's like over. And here in the States,
oh my gosh, I was
obviously
like, good Lord.
With HIPAA, we've got a prompt for our AI review that is HIPAA compliant. It says, don't mention any physical or mental issues, in the review. I forgot the prompt that I wrote, but I tried a bunch of different prompts talking about, like, I was mentally unstable and they fixed me, and the AI was like, we're so glad you enjoyed the service.
Well, and it's
so that's so you can talk about it. HIPAA compliant, but over there
it was so weird.
Wow, it's 10x over there.
I'm like, holy cow. But in the same descriptor, in the same law, they have that you can't omit any reviews. I'm like, well, how the heck's that going to work? Like, like, that's just asking to get fined. So I was like, you need to have them talk to an attorney, and probably not even mess with that.
For sure.
Wouldn't be worth it.
100%. Yeah.
But it goes into websites.
Australia, maybe maybe talk to somebody about what.
Yeah, but it goes into websites. I mean, that's all that stuff is tied in with websites, and we want this on our website because we think it'll help. We want this widget and that widget, and that's why I just stay as far away from it as possible. I stick straight SaaS.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Yeah, we can go and ask for reviews. We can do all the texting and all that stuff. But yeah, that's kind of what I've kind of where I'm kind of landed. But you've taken it like definitely a step above and beyond, because like, I was thinking, hey, great, this Alignable thing, there's something to it, it's got legs. And then you just came in and blew me out of the water. I'm like, well, hold my beer. And here we are with, the way you prospect and your target audience and building partnerships. So that's kind of where I want to start. All right. Well, so basically that I'm glad we were able to check in with everybody and all that. So, so now we're going to get into the good stuff. We're going to let Charles tell us about his, what he wants to tell us about his super secret ninja alignable method. So, so basically, secret. What's that?
It's not that secret.
No pressure. So, yeah. But
pumping this all the way up here, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm that high.
Well, yeah. So the idea behind this is that we all look for ways to prospect. We're doing cold outreach and cold email, cold calling, ads, LinkedIn and everything else. And one of the little known avenues that you can use for prospecting is Alignable. So you go to alignable.com, and it's kind of like LinkedIn, except instead of doing your own personal profile and then doing everything through InMail and things like that, like you would with LinkedIn, and as stuffy as LinkedIn is, Alignable is more business oriented, where you're actually putting your business profile on Alignable, and then you can network. It's got forums where you can just jump in. People can ask questions. They have polls, and then you can actually pick the areas based off your subscription model. You can actually pick the areas in which you work. Like I work in the Kansas City area, so I'm all over the place in like the Johnson County, Kansas, and Kansas City Metro and all that stuff. So when I post something, people in my circle can see my posts. And so but you can still go to any number of like virtual meetups where they're kind of like this Zoom, where you'd have 100 or more people on a Zoom, and then you randomly get broken out into little breakout rooms to actually have like a 2-minute jam session with just some person that shows up in the room with you. Like you literally sit down. It's kind of like speed dating. So you get broken off into a room, somebody pops in, you introduce yourselves, and back and forth, and hopefully you're coming up with some way you can help each other and things like that. So it's a very, very good way to do networking and actually get clients. And I thought I was doing okay just by, being able to connect with people and message and things like that. And then Charles, let it out of the bag last week of what he's doing to get clients. And he's doing it with a much stronger method of partnering with the people that you think you were competing with, which are, the SEOs, the web designers, and the social media marketing agencies, because there are a lot of those people, unlike us, who are using, HighLevel and SaaS. There are a lot of these companies out there that do just web design, or they do just SEO, and they don't know anything about, HighLevel and SaaS and the texting and emailing and all that stuff. If they do, they've cobbled something together like MailChimp and some other junk for their clients, and they're using 5 or 6 different systems that are clunky. They still don't have unified inbox. And then one of their big problems is that since they don't do SaaS, they do have quite a lot of client churn, because, and I know Jay does a lot of SEO, but it's kind of the pain point of a lot of SEOs out there. As soon as you rank your client, they don't need you anymore, or so they think, and then you get fired. Or a web design company, you build the website and all that stuff, and then after a while, they've got this nice fancy website, and they go, "Gosh, what am I paying you for now?" So, there's a lot of churn in those industries, and Charles has used that pain point to basically line up clients and just knock them down. So with that, we're going to let Charles start talking and let us know what he's doing to kind of just get started. So let us know about like how you got started on the Alignables thing.
So to kind of set the preface, I am SaaS only. I do not offer any services of any kind. I hate services with a passion. Did it for 25 years. Don't have an interest in doing it anymore. I came from automotive, and maybe that's why I hate it so much, because they never could make up their mind about anything. So I am strictly software. I sell the entire platform as one piece. I do not break it apart into different pieces and do this and that. Hey, I'll do reputation for this, or I'll do missed call text back. I sell the complete system with pre-built snapshots. And that's really where it all ties together, is in that snapshot that I'm offering. And I really focus on three. My entrepreneurs, I give them a lightweight build where basically it is just covering their basics, because I never really know what an entrepreneur is going to be doing. They could be doing multiple things. So I cover their inbound messaging channels for during business hours, after business hours, that immediate response. And then push to, hey, by the way, here's a link to the calendar. I set up all their calendar reminders. And then we've got, a checkout form, a cancellation refund landing page form, just some very basic stuff. There's a 52-week text nurture campaign in there. They have to do the templates. So the templates are already pre-made, but they have to put in like what their tip is for that week. And then we do a month by month email campaign. So it's kind of like the 52-week, just one time a month, since it is the entrepreneur. So that's my lightweight build. Then I have my business in a box, where I basically have built everything for them. It covers every aspect of any traditional business. It covers everything. There's almost 100 automations pre-built in the snapshot, landing pages, calendar pages, checkout pages, multiple opt-in forms with multiple pipelines. It is for someone that knows what they're doing. I'm selling this or this. Like, they know the direction they're going. They're an established business. They have their kind of mindset in a direction. And then I have real estate agents. So I know, total. I kept getting asked about it, so I just did it. Really, most of my sales come from my small business, closely followed by my entrepreneurs. Basically, the entrepreneurs, if it's someone, even if they're not an entrepreneur, if they want to be able to easily customize and build on top of what I've already pre-built, I put them in the entrepreneur snapshot. Because that way it's just enough to cover their bases, but they have all the freedom to build on top of it without having to worry about, am I going to break something? The small business, I tell them you can add things to the current workflows. Otherwise, jump on support and let them help you add a new workflow if it's firing off of something that we've already created, because odds are there's probably already other workflows that are integrated with that.
And you don't do support. You've got that white label.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. Yes. This is what I do all day. I just sit on Zoom and talk to people, network. So that's what I love to do. So that's basically how I sell. Everything's $297 a month. I don't care how many users, contacts. I do rebilling on my hard cost, and that's it. Clean and simple. $297 a month. No setup fee. Setup fees are retarded, especially if you're doing SaaS, because you're not delivering enough value out of the gate to justify a setup fee. You're just not. So, and plus it can be a sticking point, and why give them another reason to say no? So I'll just take your $297 a month. And that being said, I have over half my clients have converted to yearly after 3 or 4 months. So they sign up initially on monthly, and then they'll message me, hey, can I still get the 2 free months if I go yearly? Absolutely. Here you go. And then I just go into Stripe and swap out their subscriptions. So, easy peasy. But everything else, I do LC email, LC phone, don't have any problems with any of it. We set up custom domains for all our clients through there. It's stupid easy now. Using LC Mail, it is the way to go if you want ease of use. Because trying to auto create mailgun accounts and all that other fun stuff, yeah, no, that's for the birds.
Are you when you set up the LC email, are you setting it up on your own subdomains, or are you giving them the DNS records for them for their domain?
We do it live on a Zoom call, so my onboardings are outsourced as well.
Yeah, I've seen people do it on their own subdomains, and it's just kind of a jinky way to do it, because you're not going to get deliverability.
Yeah, well, and not only that, I mean, you want their domain tied to it. I mean, it's just going to make everything that they're putting out look that much better, because it has their domain in it. We have 3 subdomains that are set up. One that's the primary, so when people first sign up, they're on ours until we get their custom domain set up. If they don't have a domain, refuse to buy one, we will step them down to our mid-tier. We used 3 different ones based on, we put our bad people in on one. We're like, okay, we're switching you to this subdomain because you're pretty horrible. And then, you know, if they're okay, we'll start them off in the mid-tier where it's got pretty good reputation. And if we see that they're not breaking any email rules or anything like that, they're doing opt-outs, we'll move them up if they just refuse to get their own domain. But I've only had one client do that so far, but it was a weird transition period when we were switching from Mailgun over to LC email in the very beginning. So that was kind of some of the reasoning behind it. Yeah, it was until they fully released the custom domains, it was kind of a funky setup there for a few weeks. But so yeah, that's basically how I deliver. Everything is outsourced. I don't do any of the work. I have a Slack channel that I invite all our users to. I am not afraid of my users talking to each other. I want them to talk to each other. It's kind of turned into a little community / support / updates. We'll probably be, depending on how the MVP looks, we'll probably be transitioning from Slack over to communities once that's released. That's the game plan, but I got to see what the MVP is going to entail before I can make it work. But and we encourage all of our clients to sell to each other in our Slack channel. We have deals go down in our Slack channel several times a week because they're each doing different things. And there's nothing they love than me supplying another place for them to advertise their business and get business. And it's free for them because it's part of their subscription. So that's another kind of value add to our clients. And it's the only way they can communicate with me. They have to message me through Slack. Otherwise, it's support team. So that's pretty much it. It's pretty clean and simple. When I set out to do this, I knew I did not want to be an employee. I wanted to be a business owner. So that's why I get to do what I do now. I go on podcasts. I talk about whatever. I don't care. And I network. That's it. And that's where I get the bulk of my business is online networking. I don't go to any physical events. I do go, well, I take that back. I go to some chamber stuff locally, but that's because I've done business in the area for so long. But for the most part, most of what I'm doing is online networking, and I've been wearing Alignable out. So
is there any Alignable left for the rest of us?
Yes, there's tons of it. I can only reach so far. I can only reach so far. So
with your clients, like you're getting all kinds of clients. You don't have a niche because who cares about niches? It's a stupid way to go, unless you're really, really, really good at that particular niche. But but with that, you're getting clients, but you're not going after that client. I mean, I know on the networking you probably get a client or two, but the way you get clients is what's unique. And like,
I really go after partnerships. When I started this, I came from 25 years in automotive, and I don't niche. I don't think it's necessarily smart to do. I think when you're starting out, it can be beneficial because it's usually, I went back to automotive when I first started my agency. I started back at automotive because that's where I had the most contacts and knew the most people. So it just made getting those first 10, 15 clients super easy because I already had that know, like, trust factor with all these people. And I worked at the manufacturer level, so it was highly regarded with people in dealerships. So, but once I got those first 10 or 15, I was like, I actually stayed away from automotive. I didn't want any more automotive. I was like, I want everybody else but automotive. So when I network, it's really about, people ask me, it starts with what you're seeing right now. I will tell you that. You have to keep in mind that this is your meet and greet. This is your digital handshake. I can't tell you how every single meeting almost that I'm in, people are either commenting on my background, my banner, or my microphone. Every damn meeting. And sometimes it gets aggravating because I'm like, yes, please take the attention off of me. Like, I'm here just to learn about what you guys do. I don't care about me. But it is a conversation opener. And in any sales process, it starts with a meet and greet. This is my meet and greet. So that's why I invested in audio, video equipment, lighting. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars. Literally, you can go on Amazon, spend $200-300 and get everything that you need to appear that much more professional on camera, because it does make a difference. It makes you show up as an authority figure, that you know what you're doing, whether you do or not. And it makes it seem like you've been doing it a whole lot longer than maybe what you actually have.
Yeah.
It just adds that authoritative point to it.
The backgrounds, your little foreground banner, all that stuff, all doable in Canva.
Yeah.
So,
and I use Ecamm Live. I mean, you can use OBS Studio. It's free. Get anything except your built-in camera to your laptop, because they're horrible. You can go on Amazon and get a Logitech 1080 for like $40.
Yeah, that's what I got right here.
Yep. They work good. And just get you a cheap light kit and green screen off of Amazon. You can get them for anywhere from $50 to $100. Stands and 2 lights, and that's really all you need. So, and then get you a cheap USB mic. Audio is more important than video. I will tell you that.
Yeah.
Bad audio hurts.
Yeah.
It physically hurts your ears.
What are you using for a mic? I got a Blue Snowball.
Yeah, I use a SM7B, a Shure SM7B. Sure. This is what all the radio stations have used for years, and a Rodecaster Pro. Rode did just come out with a new USB pod mic. So it's a great mic. And it is USB or XLR. Yeah, so if you
I've got a Rode here.
Yeah, if you upgrade down the road to like a soundboard, you can still use that same mic. You don't have to pay more money. So check out Rode. They just came out with a bunch of new stuff. It's nice. They even came out with a new video capture and audio device. So you can not have to get a cam link if you're using like a DSLR like I am, or a mirrorless camera. But yeah, this is your digital handshake. That's my point.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're showing up professionally, because that sets the tone for the entire conversation.
So with that, so now you've got that set up. Like, what networking events do you look for, and then when you actually get on these, like when you do get into those breakout rooms, because I know when they start the big networking, everybody's muted like this, and they go, okay, everybody's gonna break out, and you got the comment section is flying by, and they say put your info in there, and you can get the chat later, so you can go back and reach out to people that put their information in there. But like what kind of conversation, what's your conversation look like when you get into those breakout rooms? Because I know you say like you try not to talk too much, you get them to talk. So
yeah, I want to hear about
what's
them.
that look like?
Well, it's a lot. easier. People love talking about themselves. So if you can just be like, look, I'm boring. I do tech stuff, automations, crazy stuff with CRMs. I'm more than happy to tell you, I want to know about you. What do you do? What do you love about what you do? I want them talking about what they do. If there's 5 or 6 minutes in the breakout, I don't care if I get to talk at all, because I'm not looking for clients. I'm looking for partners. I need to know where their headspace is. I need to know what they do, how passionate they are about it, and how they treat their customers, because that's a big thing for me. If they're halfway doing their business, I am not going to partner with them. I do not want to even be associated with that. But if I feel the passion and I feel the love, and I know that they're taking care of their clients, they're showing up, pretty professionally, I want to have a conversation with them. So immediately what I do is I jump on LinkedIn, because it's usually easier for me to find them on LinkedIn than it is on Alignable. Sometimes Alignable takes me a minute to try to find them, because you can't always find people as easy as you can find businesses, because it is based on the business, not necessarily the people. So I'll connect with them on LinkedIn and invite them to a one-to-one. But as far as the events that I'm going to, I go to anything business, marketing, advertising, websites, pretty much anything that is general, that is even remotely close to websites, SMMAs, social media marketing agencies, ad agencies. I go to the events that they would go to, because that's who I want to connect with. And I'll go to webinars. I'll sit in webinars where there is no breakout. It's the speaker the entire time. But there's always stuff going on in the chat, and that's what you have to pay attention to in the webinars. And pay attention to when you're registering for events. Pay very close attention. That's how I landed an agency this week.
What do you mean by when you register?
So I signed. It was a webinar that was being pushed through Alignable, and last minute, I happened to have a break in my calendar. I was like, I'm going to jump into this webinar, and it was around SEO. And so I went to register. It took me to a registration page. I filled out the registration page, and then what I looked at, I'm like, this is a HighLevel form. It was a preview link. I was like, oh boy. So there's either an agency that has no freaking clue what they're doing and not supporting their client, or it's someone trying to be a HighLevel agency that doesn't know what they're doing. Or it was just a fluke and they made an accident. Gotcha. But I was betting on the first two.
Yeah.
And then I got bombarded with text messages and emails because there was no event start date set up in the workflow. And so it sent me every single message that was in the whole time, because there was no wait till 1 hour before event. So I ended up getting like 5 text messages and 6 emails. They all went to spam. So during it, when I got the text message, I replied back to the text message and said, hey, I just want to let you know that there's an issue with your registration page and with your automation. I'd love to chat and help you out any way I can. Don't think this is a sales call. It's not. I just love helping people. They scheduled an appointment with me while they were doing their webinar.
Nice.
But it was just paying attention. I mean, was it hurt to offer help? I don't care to help another agency. I'm not, there's enough business for everybody. I am not worried about competing against each other. But yeah, so going into these networking calls, I mean, I'm really looking for partnerships. I'm looking for social media agencies, advertising agencies, web companies, because I already know their number one pain point, and that's churn. It's why we're doing what we're doing. So if I can come in, and that's how I propose it, I let them tell me, even when we get on one-to-ones after, it's all about getting to that one-to-one.
Yeah. So
And then
how do you get from the breakouts to the one-to-one, and then what's that conversation? Well, it's kind of just general framework for people.
yeah, I just send them a quick message on LinkedIn or Alignable, whichever
Yeah.
I can find them first on, and just send them a quick message. Hey, it was great meeting you today. Would love to chat more one-to-one, learn about you and who I can refer to you. Again, it is not about me. It is about them. I
All
want
about
to
what can I do
pump
for you?
them up.
Yeah.
And that's it. I send them my calendar link because
Okay.
I'm lazy and I don't want to put their data in the CRM. I want them to do it. So,
well, I mean, yeah, you might as well not until they actively take action.
that's why I have autoresponders in my email for when people send me emails connecting with people. I'm like, oh, nope, here's my calendar link. Don't even try that. I don't want it. So yeah, but it's just getting that one-to-one. And then again, I want them, they'll be like, oh, I looked at your website. I'm really interested in what you listen. I'm boring. I want to know about you.
Yeah.
I put it right back on them. I want them talking. And
so how do you leverage what they like, all because you're getting them just to talk and tell you what their needs are and their pain points are. So how do you eventually steer it into?
Actually, I don't get them to talk about their needs and pain points because I already know what their needs and pain points are. It's the same as every agency. I get them to talk about their process and how they are with their because again, I'm interviewing them without asking them questions.
Gotcha. Right.
That's basically what I'm doing. I'm letting them continue to talk so I learn more and more about their business, about their process, how they treat people, what services they offer, how it could or could not compete with anything that I'm doing. Because if they check all these boxes in my head, I'm like, okay, well, here's the deal. So like I said, I'm boring. I'm just a CRM company, but let me start off by saying how we're different. One, we don't do stair-step pricing. The whole reason I started this is because it is crazy for a 2 or 3 person business to have to pay HubSpot or Zoho $2,000 or $3,000 because they have so many contacts or they have 2 or 3 users. And I said, I'll be quite frank with you. Just because you have 5,000 people in your database does not mean you're doing any more business than someone with 500. It doesn't. It's an unrelatable number. They love that statement. I don't know why, but they do. It sticks with them. And it is true. Just because you have a huge database doesn't mean you're doing more business. It comes down to communication. They could have a 5,000 person database that they're not communicating with. So I tell them about that. I tell them about our how we're very focused on customer service. We offer 24/7 live chat. We never use a bot. Response times under 90 seconds. Customer satisfaction rating 96%. And then we also offer 24/7 Zoom support as well. And we have teams that are specialized on Zoom for websites and funnel help, advanced help if they need help with webhooks or Google Sheets or integrations or anything like that. We've got a full team dedicated to that. And then we also have our general tech support Zoom, where if it's just, hey, I need help doing this or that, or I don't quite understand this, you're more than welcome to jump on as many Zoom calls as you want. You can even schedule them out ahead just in case you want extra help. I don't care. That's what I pay them for.
Who are you white labeling support with?
Extendly.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Very
Extendly. And I tell them that, they usually ask how big my team is. And I tell them, well, we just have just over 80 support reps, which Extendly does. And I said, but we're in the process of hiring even more. We're hoping by the end of the quarter to have over 100, which Extendly does. But it's my team.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I tell them that I have, just over 108 engineers, which HighLevel does. So that's my team. And we've built out this platform to where we really complement what they're doing. I love what you do, whether it's ads or marketing or websites, whatever it is. I love what they do. Totally appreciate it. Again, I'm pumping them up. And then I said, the problem is, and the reason I've never gone down that route and got out of it after 25 years is because I got tired of hearing the same story. What you're doing isn't working. I said, you and I both know that it's not that what you're doing isn't working. is that you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. You can slam them with all the leads that you want, make their phone ring off the freaking hook. But if you have a bunch of lazy salespeople or a horrible receptionist or just no process or system at all, and their leads are going to their inbox and their email, they're going to cut you. You know it. I know it. It's not right. And we know, depending on their area, they'll be back to you again because they're going to do the same thing with every other agency that they sign up with.
Yeah. And that's especially bad with realtors. That's where I started. And every one of them was, these leads are trash. I'm like, well, did you call them? I'm like, well, I'm going to call them today. Like, we sent you a bunch of them all week.
Yep. So then it goes into our builds. And all I do is show them my pricing page because it kind of breaks down everything. And, you know, explain the pricing. I explain the digital wallet, how it works with the rebilling, because I want to be fully transparent with them. We give them $15 a month into their wallet. You can set the rebilling anywhere from $10 to $50. $10 will get you.
You give them $15 credit?
Mm-hmm. Every month.
That is a truckload of texts.
It's about 1,000 text messages.
Yeah.
900 to 1,000 text messages.
Yeah, they're never going to use that.
Yeah. Mine do.
Well, I've got
some I do, some I don't.
I got a client that pretty much wears out her texting every month.
And a lot of our automations have text messages in them already. So, you know, especially if they're on the small business, if they're really ramped up and going, they're going to go through that. But, you know, it's $15. I'm not worried about it if they use it all. So I explained to them, you know, $10 will get you about 10,000 emails or about 1,000 text messages. And that's it. That's all I go into with that. I don't go into the rebilling for content AI or anything like that, even though that's all set up. I do tell them if they even touch websites, I do tell them that I do offer WordPress hosting powered by Google Cloud, which is what GHL's solution is. And that way they don't have to worry about maintaining that hosting. As long as they have the CRM, they'll be able to maintain it through me.
So that then, if that's going to be super sticky for the people that do web design as their main.
It's one less thing offering. They have to worry about.
Yeah. You're like, hey, bring all your stuff over. We're going to host it over here. It's going to be way faster. And then they're never going to leave you.
Well, and the other part of it is I really try to push web designers to build within HighLevel, because if the agency turns and goes upside down, or they end up leaving and finding another platform that they want to work with, I need to make sure those clients stick with me.
Yep.
The best way to do that is with HighLevel websites.
Yep.
100%. That is an ultimate sticky point, because if their whole website, all their landing pages, where all their marketing and advertising is going to, is built in HighLevel, guess what? If you want it,
it's staying here.
You can get an HTML scraper and scrape it. I guess I don't know, but you can't transfer it out. So you're gonna have to rebuild it.
So you're still talking to the SEOs, the web devs, and the SMMAs, and you had mentioned something about like you're talking to them all, showing them this platform and like that, but you also give those guys a HighLevel account for free. Yes. Because you know what? It doesn't
get free accounts.
Anything to give a free account. If you're on the 297, it's
cost me $15 a month.
Bingo.
Well, and here's the thing. How are they going to sell and push your platform if they're not using it?
If they don't, So they get in there and they get sticky. And so how with bringing on their clients, like how do you get to that conversation? Like, I'm giving you an account.
It starts in the one-to-one. So I tell them, I'm like, look, you know, I am looking for partners. This is a leg up for everybody. It's a leg up for me. It's a leg up. I said, I'm not going to lie to you and say it's not a leg up for me. I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't a leg up for me. But it's a leg up for you, because you'll be able to offer your clients more services or products without having to fulfill. You don't even have to touch it. Plus, your client is going to benefit even more from your services because we have this running in the background. And the best way that I know to prove to you how this system works and how it will help your clients is for you to use it.
Yeah.
So if we can partner up and you really feel like this would be a good fit for at least a handful of your clients, I'll be more than happy to give you a free account. When you check out, I'll give you a Stripe checkout. You will have to put in your credit card because I have to cover my hard costs. I just can't go bankrupt. They never give me any flack about it. I give them a coupon code so they can roll it to 0. I sign them up on, because I'm on SaaS configurator. So I'm on SaaS mode. So I need, you know, but I just sign them up under my original monthly product and give them a coupon code. And that's it. They sign up and they go through the entire onboarding process just like any other client. Again, it's about showing them what their client is going to experience.
Are you using an onboarding through, say, Extendly or? Okay,
Yep.
so you like you're just, everything else is like, it literally is just hands-free, rolls out of the box, you're good to go.
Yep.
Lazy, easy peasy.
Yep.
So
pretty much.
how long does it take? So like then having that conversation, like, you know, I'm going to give you an account and then you can do this for your clients.
Yeah.
How long does it take for them to be in the platform before they start bringing on clients? And then when you do it, like, how does the fulfillment happen? Because they've got it. Like, I'm going to talk to Mike and go, hey, Mike, I did this great website for you and all that stuff, but then I've got this additional service. So how do you get them?
Well, and see, that's the other benefit. So they figured, I don't even talk to them about that. They figure that out. That's their job. That's their 20% affiliate every month.
Right.
They can figure out how to sell it. I just want them to figure out that they love it. And they love the integration.
You sign them up, you create them in the affiliate manager and send them a link, right?
Yep. Okay. Yep. And sometimes the only question I really get asked that I get sometimes a little pushback is white labeling. So I tell them that currently we do not offer white label, but it is planned, which is what is planned with HighLevel. To us, it would be black labeling. But to them, it's white labeling.
Right. So it's kind of like a second tier SaaS.
Correct. Yep. So everybody's talking about running multiple brands and selling different SaaS packages with it. I'm like, that's crazy. This is the way you should be doing it. You should be white labeling your damn platform to someone else to sell the hell out of it. Why do more work for yourself? But so that's how I'm going to be using that feature when it rolls out. And so I do let them know if they ask about that it is planned. I don't have an exact date on it. It could be, we're going to try to get it out this quarter, but it could be next quarter, which is kind of where we're sitting at with it right now.
So when that agency gets that sent, basically like, Charles, you got to try this out. I'm going to send you the affiliate link and you're going to sign up. So they sign up and they get all the welcome and onboarding and everything like that the agency just went through from Charles with the branding and everything. So if I'm a web dev or an SEO or I'm doing stuff with websites, how are we doing fulfillment, getting the web chat and the forms and all that on?
Well, and that's the other beauty of giving them a free account. So what I tell them is anytime you onboard a new client that you're doing web dev or anything for, if you need access to their account, I just need you to copy me on I need a 3-way email. You, the client, and me saying, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Client, I just need you to reply all to this email thread saying that it's okay for us to have access to your account. And then I just go into agency settings and add them to that account. The only thing to be aware of is if you are dealing with finance people, they will need a alternate login to deal with them, because finance people, it's just red tape stuff. So they can't see contacts because in Teams, you can't separate yet. You can't, if I give Pat an account, but then I add him to Patty's account, he's going to have the same permissions across.
Okay.
The only way to do it is to create Pat a secondary login to work with his clients, and then he has his own login for his sub account.
Gotcha.
But if they're not dealing with finance people, it's generally fine. There's usually no red tape that you have to worry about.
Yeah, I don't care if you see my
So I would
billing
just
or
add
anything
them
else.
to that location, and that way they can just pick it from the drop down, jump into their client's account, grab, create whatever they need to, whatever. The nice part is that support is there to help them if they need anything, and they're already using the system. So odds are they're already used to using the forms, the survey, the chat widget, using Google Tag Manager to implement the chat widget, everything
Yeah.
like that. They're already used to it. That's the other benefit of giving them a free account, is it requires less support down the road.
So you're really not even doing any fulfillment.
Mm-mm.
This is beautiful.
No.
Yeah, this is
No. I'm
I
just
have
selling
a,
SaaS.
I have a lot. I have
mean,
a lot of work to do, Charles.
yeah, I'm just selling SaaS. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, and sometimes it can take a, you know, like I closed another agency today. They're a web agency. And I was kind of hesitant I wasn't sure if I was going to even attempt it, because they do a lot of web design for, hemp products, CBD, all the stuff that is an absolute nightmare to deal with.
Advertising, yeah.
Yes. And Twilio accounts, phone numbers, and everything, and Stripe and all. Yeah, it's just a mess. But after talking to him today, I said, you know, I'd love to, I said, but I'll be honest. I said, you already know how difficult this space is when it comes to regulations. I cannot promise that you're going to not lose a phone number, that Stripe accounts are going to get closed. You know, it's, do not come to me crying. If you put customers in here, do not expect me to solve these problems.
Yeah.
This is your space. You know the rules. You know what works and doesn't work. You're the fulfillment people. I'm not.
And I think, do we have authorized net yet as well? Or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we do. That's what
well,
I
and they said that they're like, "Hey, don't worry about it. We know you'll be lucky to even open your Stripe account if you say anything CBD." We use authorized.net and NMI. And it's like, great. We integrate with both of them as merchant processing portals, so that way they can connect with whatever traditional merchant processor they want to. And they were happy with that. And I just was quite frank with them. You know, for one, be transparent. For God's sakes, just be transparent, be brutally honest. Because I just told them, like, look, do not come crying to me if a phone number gets blocked and blacklisted. I can't help you. I can get you another phone number, and I'm not going to promise you that it's not going to happen right again. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You already know this. And they were totally fine with it. So they're going to start they signed up today. They're going to do their onboarding, and then they feel confident that they'll be bringing over a handful over the next 30, 60 days. But
yeah, that particular niche is they know what they're dealing with when they're already working in there. And so
this company's been around a while, so I trust that they actually know what they're doing and how to navigate those waters better than most.
And those clients are happy to have somebody that knows what they're doing, so they can at least get advertising going and all that, because you can't do it on Facebook, you can't do it on Google, you can't advertise anywhere.
Super limited. But the agency I closed yesterday, you know, he signed up. I met him this was the one where the automation. So he has his own HighLevel agency account that is closing at the end of the month. So he just admitted, he's like, you know, this is not. We admitted to each other, we both hate what each other does. I hate web design. He hates what I do. It's a perfect match.
Right.
But he knows the value in having that in place. So he signed up his agency. By the end of the day, he had 14 people go through my funnel and sign up. And he signed up another one a few hours later. In the evening, so that was 15 total in one day, and it was just, you know, he's about 4 hours south of me in Atlanta, Georgia, but he's a website company, and it started from, hey, I think your automation's broke, and you're using a preview link. It started off as a call just to help him.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
Yeah.
And he knew I was a HighLevel white label. I was like, look, we can just transfer all your accounts. We got to fill out some forms. You'll have to cancel their subscription in your account, in your Stripe account, and they will have to check out in mine so they can go through the whole onboarding process. But then HighLevel will transfer their accounts. So yeah, easy peasy.
Fantastic. That is stellar, man. So,
but I'll show you guys my Alignable profile. If you're not on Alignable, you can see what one looks like.
Yeah.
Is everybody here on Alignable?
I am, but I mean, like I said, I need to really
retune. Gold mine.
I tuned my my profile up so that it was more towards local businesses, but I'm going to definitely realign my Alignable to be actually like targeting SMMAs and web devs and all that, because yeah, I mean, those people, they've already gone out and got the clients.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you want to let me share my screen, I'll show you kind of what I do, my daily process in Alignable, I guess you could say.
Yeah, share away.
May I ask a question?
Yeah.
So in terms of the snapshots and stuff that you have for the clients, entrepreneurs, real estate, and business owners, are you getting those on extendedly as well? Yep. Okay. So it's just that turnkey from them. And okay. Interesting.
Well, and again, that is ease of, it's keeping it stupid simple for me.
Yeah.
They built the snapshots. Who better to support them?
Yeah.
Who better to onboard them? They know those things like the back of their hand, and they have a whole onboarding process that perfectly fits those snapshots. So it's just, again, it's less that I have to worry about. I don't, I get recordings of every onboarding call they do, and I go through and watch a couple here and there just to kind of do quality checks, make sure everything's going good. But I really don't that often, because I get messages on LinkedIn from new clients saying, hey, loved, Andre or whoever was on the call. I'm like, yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm glad. I'm like, I don't even know who that is, but all right. Glad you liked it. So yeah, they've just been a really good partner. Anytime
how much is the support? I imagine it goes in tiers, right? Depending on how many clients you have, but like more or less.
So they basically have 3 tiers. They have agency only, and then they have agency with up to 10 clients, and then they have unlimited clients, although that is subject to change. I think they're changing. I think they're putting in another tier in between. But yeah, they have 3 tiers for their support.
Oh.
So, and the nice part is that, like, some questions that I've had, instead of having to deal with, we all know how great HighLevel support is. They've been able to, unless it's an actual technical problem, I go to them with my support questions, even for my agency, for myself. If I need something, if something's not working, I just go to them, because more times than not, they can fix it for me. They'll go in, like I broke the menu on the website that I got from them, and totally broke it, screwed it up royally, and messaged one of the teammates. I said, yeah, I broke it. Can you fix it, please? They went in, did their CSS and JavaScript magic, and got it working again within an hour or so. And I was happy. Didn't have to worry about it. So they do support the agency as much as they do the clients. So, but yeah. And Haji just signed up with them, actually, for support.
Oh, nice.
So it's really a no-brainer. You'll get so much time back. It's, even if you're on the unlimited, it's under $500 a month if you have over 10 accounts, and it's the best $500 you'll ever spend.
Yeah.
So can I ask you another question on that? Because the perception, that's interesting, that people asked you, how many people do you have on your team, or how big is the agency? And so do you think it's I really liked how you put that together. There, we have 80 support and whatnot. That's so killer.
Yep.
But out of curiosity, on your website directly, do you have any mention around the team or anything like that? Because I've incorporated
in
in
my
mine
FAQs.
In your FAQs. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
In my FAQs, I speak to 24/7 support.
Okay. Great. Thank you for that.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've got it on my pricing page in the FAQs and the about in the FAQ.
Okay.
So, but it's something I just kind of throw out there to add more validity. Like, hey, I'm a real business. I'm not like fly by the seat of my pants. I started this last week and I'm trying to sell you something.
It's perceived authority all the way.
Is.
I mean, it's so
100%.
smart, so smart. And if the barrier is, oh, if she gets hit by a bus, what's going to happen with my business type of thing? It's totally understandable. So I love that you're leveraging those extended teams to elevate the perception of your brand.
Yep.
So
yeah, because they don't need to know, and they would never know. They would never know.
So smart, Charles.
Yep. And VAs are so common now. Nobody is going to bat an eye at it being a VA. Like they almost expect it now. They don't expect US based people to be doing onboarding and support. They just don't. Since the pandemic, forget about it. Everybody's gone to using VAs. So it doesn't even raise an eyebrow when, their only interaction has been with me. The only person on the About Us page is me, and then they jump on with someone from Extendly for their onboarding. They're like, oh, well, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
They don't even bat an eye at it. They just jump right in. They're excited to get started. So, but yeah, Alignable. Any other questions? I'm an open book. So
I was going to say, I can ask a million, but I will stop.
Okay. Just like with any platform, it starts with your profile. So this is the public view of my profile. Pinnacle AI. I'm based out of Manchester, which is about an hour and a half south of Nashville. I've got a banner up here, my logo. I am a premium member because I started off as free, but I was making so many connections that I was like, it might be worth it. I'll try it for 90 days and see, and it's definitely been worth it. So I'm going to stick with the premium. May even go up one more tier. So it is kind of...
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is there any automations you've found that work with Alignable, or it's all manual work?
It's all manual.
That's what I found.
Yeah.
It's all manual.
No API or any apps or anything.
No mobile app or anything. I kind of love that.
There is a mobile app.
How it's almost like in its own ecosphere.
Well,
it is.
That's the thing is like everybody, all us agency people want to automate everything. So everything's like, oh, here's how to automate LinkedIn. Here's how to automate this and automate that. Like, dude, Alignable is like virgin territory.
It's
the
genuine.
only person that's done all the pillaging has been Charles.
It's funny because I have a Trello board with like all my canned responses, right? For Facebook, for this, for that. Alignable is the biggest one because I've been doing it for years. For some reason, it's the only social element for business that's actually entertaining for me because it keeps them legit in a way that the other ones let too much freedom to do shenanigans. And there's like no shenanigans on Alignable, period.
Yeah. And that's the nice thing is that because they are what some people would consider behind the times, it is also one of their biggest strengths.
I think it's revolutionary because it helps us disconnect and connect at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a wall.
But I will show you how I use AI to leverage Alignable. So, but on my profile, it's just I'm a CRM company, software. That's it. Again, I'm not portraying to be any kind of service provider or anything like that. You can see I've gotten 14 recommendations. I've only had this live for a month and a half.
Oh, wow. Really? So, you've only been in Alignable for a month and a half? Or this is like another account that you've created?
No.
You've only been doing Alignable for a month and a half? Like, know about them?
Well, no, wow. I've known about them. I've known about them for years. I've known about them since they came out. I've just never gone down that rabbit hole. But I was like, yeah, what the hell?
rabbit
Everybody's
hole.
talking about it. I'll try it out. And so now I've pretty much forgotten every other social network out there. But so be really clear, fill out all the boxes. You know, who are our customers, who we'd like to partner with. But again, you know, customer types we'd like to meet, micro businesses. We speak to who we deal with. But then on who we'd like to partner with, this is my gold mine. These are my golden gooses. So advertising and marketing agencies, web designers, business consultants, advertising and communication companies, social media agencies, advertising agencies, business advertising, business consulting, graphic designers, business coaches. I have coaches that are building out landing pages saying that they're partnered with Pinnacle AI, selling my platform through their affiliate. Business coaches are good because they know that they need systems and processes. And then there's our story, about us, how we got started, and then products and services we offer, AI, software company, automation, and then you've got your recommendations. I do have promotions going. It's my affiliate program. That's the only thing I'm promoting.
Now, real quick, Charles, when you do promotions, basically in Alignable, what that is if I'm not mistaken, it's basically it shows up on the sidebar when you're in all of the different forums. And
those are paid promotions.
Okay.
So you can pay to spotlight your promotion, like actually advertise your promotion. I don't advertise it. I just created them.
Yeah, I don't know how.
So this will show up in the feed. These promotions will show up in the feed sometimes, and then it'll just show up on your profile.
Gotcha.
So think of it like in Facebook pages, how you have the products tab. Think of it kind of like that, except they break out promotions.
Gotcha.
And then you have products and services. So I have 3 products and services in here. It's all the same thing, but one is Pinnacle AI CRM, capture, nurture, and then close, which these go to the prospective pages that talk about how to capture leads, how to nurture them, and close them. And then I've got a gallery. These are just screenshots of my website. And then I have my, where I've given recommendations. By the way, if you want to get more recommendations on LinkedIn and Alignable, go write recommendations. Because I'll tell you what, they feel pretty crappy if you write them a recommendation and they don't write you one back. So there's a little hack to kind of half-handedly force them to write you a recommendation. So yeah. And then the recent activity, and this is where I pull AI in. So I've joined groups on Alignable, much like Facebook groups. Okay. But what I do is I go through and I look for questions. So this person put, for business purposes, how much should you invest on a monthly marketing and advertising budget to increase for your social media growth within blah, blah, blah. So what I did
and paste,
I took his question, put it in the chat GPT, and had it spit out an answer. And this is exactly what it spit out. I got 2 one-to-one meetings off of this comment.
Perfect.
So I'll go through my feed and find interesting questions that have to do with marketing, because again, I'm trying to let marketers and advertisers and web designers know that I know what I'm talking about. So just to speed up the process, I go through and just put out comments. Even
so
this
I noticed in those answers that you're not pimping out your website or anything else.
Mm-mm.
So you're just answering the question.
Free advice.
People are just reaching out going, "Hey, I loved it."
Yep. Yeah, they're just saying, let me see if I can find a notification. Yeah, here's Well, that's not the right one. Let's see. See if I can find this. Yeah, so here was one. So I'm trying to remember what she does. But Lena Jones, Diamond Network Studios, she does something with SMMA or advertising or something like that. I'm not quite sure. But she had posted a question, let's talk social media. Pretty much everyone has an account. Which one brings in the most business? And I put this comment in there. Hey, Lena, great discussion topic. I've seen different ones bring different business, blah, blah, blah. I put a little thing in here, Pinnacle AI. Anytime you type your business name, Alignable automatically tags it. Just an FYI. But this was me. She's trying to drive engagement for her business, and I commented on it. And she's like, that's really good. I love the detailing in your answers. Very precise. I like that you gave me a drop the mic moment. Bizwise, Facebook. I'd love to discuss more of this, but then I wouldn't have anything to discuss during my next event, not the one coming up. Thanks for reaching out. And this is all Chat GPT. I didn't write all of this. I don't have that.
So what's your prompt? You just say, hey, write an answer to this question.
So I put write a comment on this Alignable post, quote, put in the whatever it is, end quote.
As easy as it gets.
Hit enter. Yep. That's it. I don't do any fancy, crazy prompting. I just tell it what I want. I want a comment for this Alignable post, because sometimes it will mention, like in another one I did, it was, hey, great to find another local business on Alignable that's looking to up their marketing. And then it went into suggestions based off of ChatGPT. But as far as my day-to-day, I do that. And then from my homepage, from your logged in homepage, I go to my networking events. Whenever I have time coming up that's free in my calendar, I go to my networking events, and underneath this one, when it's like in the morning and during business hours, you'll see another row that says starting soon.
Mm-hmm.
So, or you can just click see all events, and you'll see starting soon. So right now it's the end of the day, so there's nothing starting soon, but tomorrow morning this will be filled back up. And I just jump into them. I don't pay much attention to what they're really talking about. I don't care if it's a webinar or networking or whatever, because I know I'm jumping into the ones that SMMAs would jump into, that SEO people would jump into. You know, my ideal audience, I'm worried about where they're at. You know, I went on a cold call one today, a webinar about cold calling. But I knew there would probably be an agency in there. So I went in there, and we ended up connecting. So we haven't done anything from that connection point, but yeah.
That is stellar stuff. Amazing.
It's just simple. It's just keeping things simple. Like I don't overcomplicate it. You know, we share mutual clients. I'm solving a pain point for them, and I'm just connecting authentically. That's it. I'm not trying to do some roundy round, like, hey, I'm really trying to get money out of you. It's not about that. Look, I think we're yin and yang. You're the yin, I'm the yang. Let's knock it out of the park together.
That's spectacular, man.
Yep.
It was epic call today. Appreciate all your input.
But yeah, I just, aside from that, there's a couple networking groups that I go to. I don't do paid networking groups. Like you'll see some like online networking groups like H7 and different online networking groups like that. Not saying that there's not benefit from them. I just have a hard time paying for online networking.
Right.
There's one that I've paid for, but that's because 90% of their users are on Pinnacle, so I kind of feel obligated to pay for it. And it's only $25 a month. So, but yeah. So, and they use it to run their networking group. They use Pinnacle to run their networking group and do all their member management and everything. So, but yeah, I mean, I just go to free networking events. I'll go on Meetup, Eventbrite, and just look for online networking events and jump in. What's the worst that can happen? I turn my camera and mic off and can work on some stuff while I'm listening in on a Zoom call.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no different than me sitting there, you know, listening to music or whatever. I never know what someone might say that could spark a one-to-one or a conversation or a great discussion. So
multitasking in its finest hour.
Yeah, why not?
It's a
Sitting here all
superpower
day
if you
anyways.
know how to use ADD. I'm telling you.
Yep.
Most misdiagnosed thing in America, ADD. It's a superpower, guys. Focusing on multiple tasks at the same time.
But yeah, I've gotten just so far. Let's see. So not even over the last, since April 17th, so a little over a month, I've gotten 47 referrals on Alignable, where someone has referred me to someone else. They've actually clicked my product and clicked the referred button and sent it to someone on Alignable.
Oh.
So
that's incredible. Awesome stuff. Well, does anybody have any questions? Everybody's just kind of sitting there dumbfounded. So what do you guys think?
I'm going to go back through the chat here. I think there was a couple questions. Haji asked, how do you conduct the conversation on Alignable? You know, like we said earlier, it's true conversations. There's no way to automate it. There's no way to, you know, anything like that. And honestly, I think you get more out of it. And really the conversation isn't that long. You meet each other in a networking group, or you hear something, you're chatting in a webinar. And it's just about, hey, you know, great to connect with you. Would love to hear more about what you're doing. Here's a link to my calendar. Grab a time, and that's it. End of conversation. And then you're on a one-to-one. Charles, besides Extendly, do you have any technical help to help them with funnel built out? So this is where these partners come in. So they're all in my Slack channel. And so I have a networking channel and tell us what you do channel in my Slack account. And I tell them, please go to the Slack account and put in there what you do. If you're a web design company, put it in there. And so if I if I have a client that needs a website or funnel, they already know that I have partners, web designers, video creators, content. I've got TikTok coaches that are in there. I've got, you know, all these great little partnerships in there. So I just tell them, hey, if you need something, you know, again, we are not services. My clients know this. We give you templates, we give you a fully built out system, but we do not do websites, funnels, or anything like that. If you need help with that, we have a bunch of partners in our Slack channel. Just throw a message in there and people will start messaging you one-to-one. And I do not get in the middle of it. That's another thing the partners like. They almost get a more of an upside out of this than I do, because I will not take an affiliate program or a referral fee from them. Because again, I'm looking at the big picture and I'm looking down the road. I want them to feel like they are winning at all times. So everybody they bring to me, I give them 20%. Any business they get through my Slack channel, I don't take anything out of. That is 100% between them and that user. I want nothing to do with it. Keep all the money in the world. I don't care. Because if I can make them happy, they'll keep bringing people to me.
I was just saying all that for $300 a month. Like, why would they ever leave you?
Right. They don't even
Such
pay.
a
The
no-brainer.
agencies don't even pay.
Yeah.
They all
Right.
get free
Oh my
accounts.
God. Even more so.
Yeah. They might pay 10, 20 bucks, if they do a hell of a lot of texting and calls and emails, whatever they go over the $15. But honestly, you're paying, yes, I'm paying 20%. So it's $59.40 that I'm paying for each affiliate that is signed up. So my total, my cost of acquisition on the high side, because I get a lot of non-affiliate signups through this, just through word of mouth referrals. My high side, I'm looking, what, $65 for the initial capture, and then my 20% affiliate every recurring month.
Well, if you had 15 people sign up this week off that one client at $297, you're still making $2,500 a month.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna bitch at that.
No, and I just had another meeting with him today, and he's got another client that he's gonna, try to get, because he wanted me to just get him links. He didn't want people to go directly to my website, so I just got him links to the checkout pages since they are a separate page on the website. And so I just took his affiliate ending string and tied it to those checkout pages. That way he could, determine which build is best for his client. And then he can just send them the link for them to sign up directly on that checkout page and not have to go to my pricing page where they see different packages. He can just point them, hey, this is the one you need to do. So yeah, we got that wrapped up today because he had another client that he was looking to bring on. So, yeah, it's just, Patty touched on it earlier. It's showing up as a thought and industry leader. That's why I talked about this is your digital handshake. It is important. It does make a difference. Mm-hmm. The more that you can really, any little way that you can show you're an industry leader, you're a thought leader, you have your crap together, the better and easier it's going to be for you, especially in the partnership land. If you're dealing with companies that have been around a while. So, and we've got one of our first partnerships was with another marketing agency that is publicly traded. And they are on GHL.
Nice.
They're based out of Colorado, and they are a huge company, but they do full-on custom corporate builds in GHL. They start at $5,000 a month. But what happens is they get a lot of clients that can't afford them. So they send everybody that can't afford them over to me. And anybody that wants a fully custom built out solution, like enterprise level, I send to them. And we do 20% commission to each other. And if I have a business that grows to the point where they need something more intricate and truly custom built to them, since they're on GHL, here you go. I'm going to hand you over to this company. Don't worry, you won't lose any data. We'll be able to transfer your account straight over to them, so everything stays the same. Your business stays running. You won't even notice. And there you go. And I go from a $297 monthly commission to making more money off of a $5,000 to $10,000 build at 20% without doing anything.
I got a question.
Yeah.
You just mentioned, as far as migration, I actually had a client that I did a custom build for last year on another client's GoHighLevel account, and he wants to get off that account. Have they made the migration much simpler now than the old form that you got to fill out, or is it
It's still the form.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't had a problem with it. The people that I've had to deal with, I haven't had an issue with, but it's been very transparent and open conversations. I get that it can really get dicey. You know, depending on the other agency, if they don't want to fill out the form, or yeah, it can get tricky, unfortunately, because there's just some idiots out there. You know, at the end of the day, you know, people talk about, you know, oh, well, that's my IP and this and that. Look, here's the truth. Nobody in this room has had an original idea yet when it comes to their business.
Yeah.
It's all been derived from someone or something. I am not worried about intellectual property. If they feel that horrible about my service, by all means, I will fill out the form and you can go with whatever agency you want. Take my snapshot with you. I don't care. It's not worth it to me.
Well, I was paid to build the snapshot and on another GHL account, not my GHL account. And that person started really supporting him well, and they want to get into their own GHL account. That has to be done with HighLevel themselves through that form.
Unless you still have that snap. Yeah, I mean, if the other agency wanted to be a pain,
but it's not the snapshot issue. It's the migration of data and calendars and pipelines.
It has to be done through HighLevel.
Okay.
There's no other way to do it.
Yeah,
and right now, it's still the form.
Okay, because the snapshot and the data is not an issue.
Yeah, it's all the contact data and everything else. Yeah, because there's some things you can't export. Yeah, no, I get it. Workflow stages.
Yeah,
I get it. Yeah, unfortunately, that's all still through that one form.
Okay, they gotta make that better.
I'm hoping
probably will.
I'm hoping they will. A lot of the frustration comes from stupid agencies making it way more complicated than it should be. I see it all the time in the HighLevel group. You know, this person wants to leave this person, and people get all bent out of shape about it. And it's like, look, they wouldn't want to be leaving you if you were doing your job right. Don't create more problems. Just go on with your day. So yeah, hopefully they'll make that better. But hey, at least they did finally fix the LC phone problem, to where you can actually transfer phone numbers. If you're using LC phone, you can actually press a button and transfer a phone number now instead of having to open up a support ticket.
Yeah, I've stayed away from that, but I think with this July 5th date coming, gonna have to deal with it.
Yep. And for those of you wondering, Extendly is working on that. So they are working on building out a process for doing the A2P registration during their onboarding process. So keep that in mind, because that's huge. I don't want to deal with that A2P stuff. I didn't even.
What's A2P? So sorry for the noobs in the room.
Basically, if you are based in the US or you are texting US based customers.
Okay.
Every carrier is going to block any unregistered phone number come July, I think June or July.
July 5th.
Right around the corner.
Yeah, they'll start ratcheting it down, I think, July 5th.
Yeah, they're going to stair step it somehow.
Yeah.
It is here. It is
I had asked a question about that. Like, you know, so with A2P taking forever and brand registration taking forever, what's that mean for bringing on new clients? So Sean did mention that they probably will push it back like they've done every other deadline.
They have, but I will tell you that it's not near as bad as it was. So initially and the way you do this in HighLevel is you go to your settings in the sub account, you go to phone numbers, and then Trust Center, and you'll see everything that you need to do. You need to get your business profile done, get that approved, and then do the A2P, and then do the stir shake thing, which that happens quick.
Shake and stir is really only if you're doing voice, like if you're doing outbound
calls. Yeah. I say it's just, I mean, there's really nothing to that. You basically click a couple buttons and it's done. So it's just like, why not do it? It's not going to, doesn't cost anything. It's just kind of a no-brainer to do it. But on
what
the
does
A2P,
Shake and Stir do? It only adds where you can add an other phone number as the calling out number, correct?
Nope. So that's not Shake and Stir. So Shake and Stir is basically tying your business name to that phone number on caller ID.
Oh,
Okay.
what was the feature that I just spoke of? There's one like that, isn't there?
There is. And so that is in your phone numbers tab. When you're looking at your phone numbers, scroll all the way down to the bottom. And that's basically where you can make your caller ID. Say you have a local business, a hardware store, and they want, ringless voicemails to go out for their holiday sale or whatever, but they don't want it to show up as a Twilio number. They want it to show up as their actual business phone number, their landline, because nobody at a hardware store is going to use a CRM. That's what that feature's for. It will make that outgoing call appear as their actual physical business line. It's basically just spoofing the caller ID, if you want to think of it that way.
Yeah,
that's basically all it is. But on the A2P, one of the biggest problems with it was, they've now resolved this, is that you had all these solopreneurs and independent contractors and non-registered businesses trying to do registered business registration. Well, now they've come out with the sole proprietor. So that way, if you don't have an EIN number, it's completely fine. Before, you had to have an EIN number to even do the A2P through HighLevel. Twilio had the solopreneur, but HighLevel did not in its trust center. They now have that. So that is alleviating a ton of headaches, because there are a lot of sub accounts that have just solopreneurs. Like, they're not a registered business. They're just, they haven't gotten to that point yet where they've needed an EIN number or whatever, or they're commissioned salespeople. So they're just using the CRM as an offshoot of what their company's using. And so they would never have an EIN number, because it's still transacting through the business that they're working for. So that's been fixed. So if you have individuals, don't worry about it. There is an actual easy way to do it. You do have to do, just make sure the business profile, authorized representative, and address information in the business profile, make sure all that is filled out completely and correctly. And do not put your Twilio number in any of the number fields in the business profile. Put an actual real phone number, because that's what they use in the trust center. So, and when you go to register as a solopreneur, you'll need to make sure that you're putting their cell phone, or if they have a landline, you can put a landline, but do not use the Twilio number anywhere in the business profile or in any A2P registration, anything, because it will instantly kill it. And you only get 3 tries for A2P. If you get declined on the 3rd, it will lock it, and you have to contact support, and then they have to communicate with Twilio to try to get it back open to where you can reattempt registration. So, but yeah, it's here.
Awesome.
How are you handling mixed uses as far as the campaigns?
So everything's operated off of custom values, and nothing we're putting out has, like, all the email and text templates. The only ones that they truly have to customize are the 52-week nurture. And so we've put in the opening message, the ending message. They need to fill in the body with whatever tip they want. We just tell them, hey, this is not a place to sell. This is just meant to keep you in front of people and offer value. So just go to ChatGPT, say, give me 52 short tips on SEO, and copy and paste all those into the templates that we already have. Once you have those templates filled out, all you have to do is turn the workflows from draft to active, and you're good to go. It'll start picking it up from there. But all our holiday emails, what's that?
That wasn't my question, but anyways.
I'm sorry.
A2P campaigns with mixed use, like.
Yeah.
I haven't ran into that yet.
Okay.
I haven't ran into it. I'm kind of careful when it comes to people doing SMS campaigns. Mm-hmm. I turned a client down that was going to be doing 10, 15,000 text messages a month and emails a month, at least, and was talking about ramping it up. And I turned them away. I'm like, this is just going to be a nightmare. I get it. I'll make a bunch of money off of your rebilling, but no, I'm good.
Yeah, if you're going to be doing that many texts, you're going to be
it's just
you're like a dedicated bulk text platform.
Yeah. So I just haven't really had to get into that. Basically, all my clients are just doing standard,
Notification.
Here's your appointment reminders, stuff like that.
So notification.
Yeah, they're just doing notification style, the nurture sequence. And then we do, would highly encourage you to build workflows for opt-outs on emails and text messages, so that you're not using the keyword. You're trying to you can't keep them from replying stop, but we use out as our keyword. One
thing I've noticed with that, when
it just helps
in the business settings, you used to be able to put in a custom message, because I use remove. Like, if you don't want these messages, just type remove, and that's not a stop keyword. But if I went in to go and change that, I can't add the keyword remove anymore. You have to. HighLevel is now forcing you to use stop, unsubscribe, and cancel.
Yeah, and it's because, they're trying to be compliant with Twilio, and I totally get that. Cannot fault them for what they're doing on that end. But you can't turn it off, but we have it set up in our workflows to where, like, every couple of messages, it's just saying, hey, if you want to stop receiving this, just reply out. And then that way it's able to trigger a workflow to manually opt them out instead of them saying stop. And because every time they do that, it sends a signal to Twilio and the phone carrier saying, hey, this person may be spamming. Let's look at their history and see how many times the stop messages come through from this phone number. And that's how you get blacklisted. So that's why it's important to have those couple automations in there, one for email, self-manage or unsubscribe, and get away from the hard-coded opt-out key phrases. Because that's going to get even more important going into this whole A2P registration, because they're going to be cracking down on all of it. So anything you can help on deliverability, the better.
But you're right. I mean, the end consumer, some know how to use quit, stop, and you're not going to get around that.
No. Haji asked, how do you host your own event? So that's one thing I will say. Alignable has quite the process of putting an event onto their platform. You do have to apply to host an event on Alignable. That's why I don't even fool with it. I just join other people's.
They do. So. That's one thing I will give Alignable, is that they're pretty careful about making sure people aren't spamming their forums and spamming. You're getting some real, like, people are selling. They're obviously selling, but you're not getting somebody posting in a forum like, hey, how do you design a website like what I just designed in the forum? Because they'll delete that, and you do that too much, you'll get slapped and they'll kick you out. So, and I remember, like, when I first started Alignable, I had posted something that was just a smidge salesy, and I didn't really mean to, but I got an email saying, hey, tone that down, because we're not trying to just sell, you're trying to offer value. I was like, oh, okay, sorry, didn't mean to, my bad. But that is the nice thing, is that they do moderate it fairly well.
Yeah. And they do have a vendor platform. So it's one thing that I'm actually going to apply to, is a vendor, be a listed vendor. I'm not going to apply until I want to try to get my analytics up a little bit more, get a few more testimonials on there. And so there's little to no reason why they shouldn't put me on their vendor list. And then I'll be on there with the likes of Thrive. That'll be fun, sitting right next to Thrive. So
those Thrive people, if you join one of their group, one of their webinars, they don't like it. They
But I
see you
think
CRM and software like, hey, what are you doing on my platform?
I think one of the big misconceptions is, especially in the high level group, is that people assume that SMMAs, web design companies, ad agency companies want to run a high level agency.
Yeah.
That is not the case. They want the benefit from it, sure, but they don't necessarily want to open up Pandora's box to a whole nother thing that they have to learn and perfect, and they could possibly even break their current business model and lose customers, because if they don't do it right, it could hurt them more than it ever helps them. So just keep that in mind. Like when you're networking and trying to find people to connect to, don't just assume, oh, well, you know, surely they would be signed up with HighLevel directly. They'd need their own agency account. They may not want to mess with it. That is a very real possibility.
Yeah, a lot of the web devs don't.
Yeah, it's the same reason I don't want to mess with what they're doing. I don't want to open up Pandora's box. Why would I think they would be thinking any different? That's crazy.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I was, so last 90, I haven't even been on the platform. It says last 90 days, but I've only been on the platform or a month and a half. And so these are my impressions. 16.4 thousand views on advice forums from my comments.
That is, so that's just from your AI pasting and all that. Yeah.
16.4 people looking and interacting with comments. Impressions to my profile, 21.9, and then 286 visits and 47 referrals over the last 45 days. It works.
Yeah. Alignable is a nice little walled garden, and not many agencies are really in there.
I call it
it's fairly untapped.
the bluish white collar of LinkedIn. It's kind of somewhere in the middle. It's not blue collar, but it's not like white collar LinkedIn white collar. It's kind of somewhere in the middle. So it's real people, like they're down to earth people. So, but there's some big companies on there as well.
I didn't know it even existed till now.
It's a great platform. I had and I met an SEO guy. He was doing local SEO. I was like, oh, what platform do you use? I talked about it on another call. He's using some Canadian-based marketplace to do his SEO services through. It's a marketplace that he's, white labeling their service basically, or gray labeling. And he signed up with Pinnacle. It's like, my clients could use this. He's like, you do Yext? I'm like, yeah. I'll give it to you at cost, and then you can sign your clients up, and this is what I'll sell it to them for. So you just never know.
Yeah. Fantastic stuff. Well, I think that if we don't have any more questions, and it doesn't look like we do, I think that kind of wraps it up. We had a full-on 2-hour deal here with Charles tonight. So thank you for diving in and letting us look under the hood on what you're doing. It's spectacular stuff, man. Like, it's just mind-bogglingly simple. It's just crazy. So way less stress than running around and doing a whole bunch of crazy prospecting and all the different methods that everybody's out there doing. So
yeah, I'll put if anybody wants to, I am more than happy to jump on a Zoom call anytime with anyone. I don't care. I'm an open book. If anybody, I'll put my digital business card in the chat. It's got my calendar link and all my social profiles. Feel free to message me anytime. Schedule a meeting with me. I don't care. If there's something you need help with, or you just want to learn more about different things that I'm doing, I'm more than happy to share. So
awesome. Fantastic. All right, guys. I think that is probably going to be it for this evening. And again, yeah, thanks everybody for showing up. We're going to be having we'll put out this replay. We'll send it out, or we'll put it in the group, and we're definitely going to put this on our on the YouTubes and let everybody have the goodness. So it's fantastic stuff. Go out there, get your Alignable profile all tuned up, start mining it, start jumping in. Lots and lots of business to be had. So cool.
Thanks,
All right.
Pat. Thanks, Charles. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks,
Best of
everybody.
luck to all of
Thank
you.
you.
All right. Well,
You guys
thank
have a great
you.
night.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.